Welcome back, guys, to another Minecraft podcast. This is part 3 of the Caves and Combat update series, where we talk about a possible update to Minecraft's underground and combat, with an emphasis on improving existing mechanics instead of adding entirely new ones. We hold these voice chat sessions on our Discord server, and there are also text channels to discuss virtually any topic related to Minecraft or to brainstorm your ideas, so if you want to be a part of that, feel free to join our Discord server. As before, the timestamps are in the description if you wish to jump to a specific conversation. Today I'm being joined by Martin DeBacker, O'Reilly, and Stabbo Crabbo. My name is Cameron, and this podcast will focus on Minecarts. Minecarts, just like mines, they haven't really got much of an update. There's been new types added, but nothing really to make them, especially with the elytra and horse, you know. Before then, there were all sorts of minecart stations and cool looking things popping up all over the place. And nowadays, people use horses, or they use elytra, or they use riptide tridents and slow falling potions in the rain. So what we're here to discuss is how we could make minecarts better without making them overpowered, or at least how we could give them a niche in the game where people will want to use them more. And yeah, we've got a couple of posts that we'll be discussing on that, and we got them up at the moment, so we're just going to be discussing that sort of stuff. So this was a Reddit post from 5 years ago. It was fairly popular. And in fact, some of the changes actually got implemented. So, and in one snapshot, minecarts were able to derail as per the post, but they changed that. They reverted all the changes, which was kind of a shame. They must have had some problems with it because in 14W11A, they changed minecart physics so that minecarts go further and faster, improved collision and position handling, and minecarts derailing at corners if going too fast, as well as refuse to go uphill. And I feel like that is a little bit annoying, but it was at least more realistic, and it was a step in the actually changing them instead of just leaving them as they are. They also changed the minecart with furnace to give a much greater boost to other minecarts, and when they're powered, they can move on non-powered rails without decelerating. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, that's the powered rail when it's turned off, so usually that breaks a minecart. And minecart with TNT explosions no longer stack, but all those were reverted in 14W17A, which was a shame. I wonder why. But I think at least they've got a starting point if they want to improve minecarts. The first change on this topic is having a higher top speed. So how it currently works is that there's an arbitrary speed limit of 8 meters per second in each of the cardinal directions. So that's and it's also inconsistent across versions as well. I believe minecarts are a lot faster in Pocket Edition, Bedrock Edition.
Just based on what I've seen, I think they are, like how fast a player model moves.
Yeah, they definitely seem faster. When I made the move to Java, it definitely made a difference.
So what this post proposes is that the top speed should be determined by a drag force proportional to the square of the speed. So that basically means that the top speed will be around 30 meters per second instead. Do you think it's too slow, too fast?
I don't think it's too fast. I think it matters how fast you can. Like, the thing about minecarts is they will always be outweighed in a certain way by something like elytras or horses because you need to build the rails for the minecart. So I don't really think a top speed is an issue. And I think maybe even making them faster than some or most other forms of transportation makes sense because you really did take the time into building that minecart rail, you know, more so than like you did with like a boat and just going in the ocean or a horse across the flat land.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. You're putting all this iron and wood into making these rails and possibly
like a ton of iron,
a ton of it as well,
and a lot of time as well.
Really be rewarding.
On the post, they've suggested a top speed of 30 meters per second.
That's a lot.
30
It's
blocks
still
per
more
second.
than most ways of transport, but it'll be really fun to make them.
20 to 25 maximum.
and I mean, even if we do go up to 30 and it takes a while to get there, it still makes sense. And
yeah, it's still
also,
the max distance, the max speed, not base speed. So
yeah, and also it would be fun if like you would actually have to figure out how to, like, you would have to build it like a roller coaster and figure out how to make sure you're not like fall off the track.
And how would it be able to fall off the track? If it was going too fast and it like lifted off the track?
yeah, that's a problem. No, the problem is that's also why they didn't make it. Yeah,
That's why
derailing. That's why they didn't add
so
it.
they don't derail.
Because it would break everything, basically,
Well,
that is already in the game.
You guys have both been saying, you know, there's not much benefit to minecarts since they take a lot of iron and they're not much better. But
well, you don't have to control them.
there is one advantage they have,
You
and
just
that
press
is,
W
a
once
player
and
can
with
go
enough
on
power
them,
it
do
is.
absolutely nothing, and if it's wired up correctly, it can take them where they want to go. So they
Still
definitely
takes
do
time.
have their niche. Yeah, of course it takes time, but once you have it set up, and
Well, yeah, but
not
I think it takes too much time for the value that you get from it.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah, that's why we got to increase the value. But my point is that it's got a clear niche that it can take up.
Yeah. For horses, you need to be jumping. For Elytra, you need to be using fireworks. Here, you just need to press W with a bunch of powered rails, and you're good.
Or just press a button and it takes you away.
It's so expensive, powered rails.
Yeah, that is true.
And also, don't forget its use in farms as well. It's a big thing for collecting items and storing items. Minecarts with chests, minecarts with TNT, which probably have this weird esoteric technical use, just the same as minecart furnaces.
Speaking of ways to make it less expensive to make minecarts, a suggestion in the voice chat was to use gold nuggets instead of using ingots.
I think that should be for rails too, like maybe nuggets for rails.
Or you could just increase the yield.
That's 1 ingot per.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it should be worth more, a single piece.
Yeah, because you're throwing these whole bars of iron in these sticks, and you get 3 rails.
You get 16.
I thought you got 6.
That's for powered rails.
Oh, it wasn't for all.
You should really get 16.
Yeah, 16 is right. Yeah.
You should get 16 for powered rails.
Or you could get a full stack for each. Whatever will make it more worthwhile.
A full stack, man. That's a lot.
32, that would be the biggest by far crafting amount.
No, I think you should just go with 16.
Rails as a whole are too expensive. It's not if we can't lower the time, which we can't, because we can't just make you be able to place them everywhere from one spot. If we can't lower the amount of time, we got to lower the amount of resources. Rails should be legitimate. They're not legitimate right now. They're I wouldn't say they're as bad as the pig is with the saddle, even though it does have a few very cool niches. But the pig with the saddle is the only thing that's below this. It really isn't that legitimate form of travel in mid game or end game.
No, walking is better. So,
yeah.
If you're worse than walking as a transport, then yeah,
there's no point of it.
That's not good.
Well, actually, you said that we couldn't decrease the time, but Zin's given an interesting video in the channel where you can place rails similar to placing scaffolding. So you place the rail in the first position, you place it again, and it stacks, so it makes a line. And it could go up hills and down hills. It just goes straight forward. And
interesting. But does this go forever?
Why not?
Well, because that would be overpowered.
You could make it so that it's outside the. If a player couldn't place it normally, they wouldn't be able to reach it. You could try that.
How do you guys feel about dispensers being able to place rails? Because then
I'd be happy with it.
Because I feel dispensers should never be able to place all blocks. That would make the game way too automatable. But it would be really cool if you could dig a nether tunnel. And then you could set a dispenser up with a piston, right? And it would just build your rail for you.
I think that's way too complicated. I think what you should just do is put a dispenser inside of a minecart, and then it automatically places rails if it has rails in its inventory in front of it.
Doesn't that get rid of the idea that the rail? Doesn't that get rid of the idea that the rail? The minecart is has to be built, but then it's good.
Well, it just builds itself.
Using dispensers to place more blocks would actually be a useful form of automation. For example, if you want to do concrete farms, you could use dispensers to automate it for you.
Yeah, but it can't be all blocks.
I know, but concrete would be interesting. Do sand and
Bear in mind that even if minecarts can auto-place the rails, it still won't be completely automatic because, you have to plan the layout, you have to dig the tunnel. It's not completely automated. It's just getting rid of one less annoying thing that you have to do.
What about this? There's a rail building, a few modules meant purely for rail building, and one in the back could pick up the rail, and it could also haul chests, and the player could just build a tunnel, so it's easier for item transport.
I mean, minecarts were originally used for item transport, so in real life.
Yeah,
that's really weird. I think. I mean, that's just a car, but a very elaborate car.
Yeah, I guess so.
Why don't you just use a horse?
Or a llama. Or a donkey.
Or those. Because there's so many options that are better.
Another way to improve minecarts would be with a minecart deflector block. say the minecart reaches the end. I don't know if this is already a thing. Please correct me if it is. But if a minecart reaches the end of a track, would it automatically bounce back and go back into the opposite direction?
Yep.
Yes.
If you place another minecart there, yes.
If you place a powered rail at the end, I believe.
A powered rail against a block makes the minecart go the certain direction.
Yeah, but
that's how all the.
It makes it bounce back. Yeah, you can totally do that.
I was hoping there could be like some sort of new block for that, but okay.
There's no reason adding new blocks. Best new functionality to existing blocks.
Yeah, and also
get more
minecarts are
structured,
very
Cameron.
closely related to redstone, so the same things for redstone apply here. The most amount of depth and the least amount of complexity.
AKA,
depth complexity.
not more blocks, just more additions to blocks.
Or something that can do a lot at once. Well, depending on how you use it. Scrolling down the post, the person's also said that minecart travels faster by a magnitude of square root of 2, and that's because since it's going diagonally, it's still going the same speed as it is horizontally and vertically. And so with a little trigonometry, you can figure out that that equals to the square root of 2, which is kind of weird. So it doesn't take that like absolute magnitude of it, it just takes it in purely horizontal and vertical components. So if you just reduce that to how it should be in a normal coordinate system, then that should be fine. So it would travel diagonally 1 meter per second instead of square root of 2 meters per second. Just makes it a little bit more predictable. And also when minecarts are in the air, they immediately stop. They lose all momentum.
Yes, and then you can't make launchers.
You can't make loop-de-loops or cool roller coaster things. Cool roller coaster jumps and things.
Yeah, physics in Minecraft are like broken pretty much with everything.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
momentum
broken
is so
anyway, so
subjective,
awesome.
and it just the physics engine needs like some work a lot.
in
Okay.
minecarts especially. I think the others are okay as they are because they're not meant to be reliable.
Yeah, but like some entities are still like a little weird, like squids.
This also ties in something that Dragon put in their video. The problem with Elytra. They said that Elytra basically makes all other forms of transport just out the window, you know. Why do it when you have an Elytra?
Because Elytras don't work underground.
Yes, but
And also
if the
because you
point
can't
is to get from point A to B, then it doesn't matter if you go underground or not.
Yes, I just focus for minecarts. I just put a bit on the focus for underground. And making epic roller coasters.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to introduce a feature and then buff it rather than to introduce a feature and nerf it because, you know, the players will get angry. They also said if you increase the top speed of minecarts to make it rival with Elytras, that starts a power creep trend potentially. Although I'm not sure if it applies here since minecarts and Elytra, they're kind of used for different things. So it's not necessarily power creep, besides there's way overpowered stuff in Minecraft. As long as you have to earn it, then I don't see any problem with it.
No, I don't think it would. I mean, a bit, but we can't have derailing, and this is still, of course, the massive costs for minecarts.
Yeah, so it's more actually balancing it rather than making it overpowered.
If we truly want to make all forms of transportation balanced, like then horses are going to have to go the speed of light or something.
No, horses,
like
you can breed them to be faster.
Oh, I know, but Elytras will always be like more powerful. And I think that's a good thing because it rewards the player at the end of the game. The bad thing about it is there's no more game to do, or there is, like with the shulker stuff. Or actually no, because you go to the shulker stuff to get the Elytra. But the Elytra, the problem with it is there's nothing more to challenge you even in the air after you get it.
Yes, well, I think combining features should be an option here. Instead of horse armor, you should also be able to equip a Elytra, so you can take your horse with you on a flight. Or you can, if you're sitting in a minecart,
Can't you do
and
that
you
with
press the
leads?
jump. Yes, but that's really weird. Just carrying a horse around on a rope. If you're riding a minecart and you press jump, you automatically go. If you have an Elytra equipped, of course, you automatically go into flying mode. So if you make like a launch pad using those minecarts, you could just launch yourself, then jump out of the cart and retain momentum.
And keep your momentum.
That would actually look
Yeah,
epic.
so-
How do you make a minecart recycling system with that though? Because when the minecart just fall off the cliff.
Yes, and you bring it back up.
On the topic of that, what if there was I know this is a little out there, but what if there was a sort of glider minecart that couldn't actually go up, but it could do longer jumps and it had like wooden wings, but it would need like a 3-block clearance on the side to side.
So a plane.
Essentially, but it can't go up. And it's like it falls quickly, just not as quickly as the other minecart.
I think it should go up, definitely. But
No,
the
I mean,
3x3
it's
area
interesting.
required?
Well, maybe the wings unfold when it goes over land or something. It goes
No, I think
over
like
air.
this, it should have like a very big area, or the wings would just break off.
Oh, okay.
If you.
I thought you
so
were going
you
to say that's a
just-
bad idea.
No, I like that,
Oh,
but
okay.
I don't like the idea that they can't go up.
All right then. I'm just thinking that like the glider minecart would be cool because if you don't have an elytra and you don't have enough rails, but you do have a rail section that's lower than the other one, you can just have this, and that would be really
I
cool.
think if you are in the air, you should have full control, or at least some control over where you're going.
Maybe there could be a little steering wheel animation.
Just like same as Elytra, basically.
Oh, also, you should be able to hop your minecarts like a Donkey Kong level or something off minecart chase sequence.
How is that useful?
Because it's funny to look at.
You shouldn't be able to jump as high as the normal player can.
No, just half a block, something.
Okay, that's fair.
I wouldn't mind it being higher. Maybe like 3 blocks, like a horse.
What? In a minecart? How would you do that? How would that work?
Yeah, you're carrying like this.
What matters whether it is...
It doesn't at all make sense. Imagine if you accidentally press space, because, well, I always press space if I try to leave the minecart.
And then like you land in like a hole above you, or there's a spider dungeon, and then you die because you're in a minecart.
What sort of person would do that?
Well, I don't know, maybe me if I don't know about this new mechanic.
Imagine jumping and you just land in a tree.
There would be a charge up then, like a normal horse.
But no, I just want to leave the minecart, so I press space, and then I'm like, oh no, wait, it's not space.
That's your own fault.
I always press space. It makes so much sense.
Then how are we supposed to jump in minecarts with shift? Are we gonna flip the whole system?
No, still space, but it shouldn't be 3 blocks because that will cause a lot of issues.
Well, the point is you could use it to jump and hop from one minecart to a next.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, this makes very little sense. Are you saying we hop and get out of the minecart, or are you saying we hop with the minecart? How are we going to jump higher than we normally do when we don't even have a floor to go off of? We're just like umphing our chest up. How is that going to carry the whole minecart 3 blocks in the air?
Because cartoon logic.
Right, we got video game logic, right? We can carry a universe in our inventory, right? And that's fair because we need to build stuff to do things, right? But like, we shouldn't be able to like show some kind of immense strength when we should be even like weaker.
At least we should be able to jump over other minecarts.
No.
Okay, that's fair. We only need 1 block to do that, though.
Sure.
1.5, maybe.
But why would you need to jump over other minecarts?
You could just get in the other minecart.
For fun.
But
fun is useless. Okay, parrots are fun, but they're useless too, and we complain about them. They're pretty fun.
They're kind of fun. I named my parrot Hammond, and then I named the second one Hammond the second because the first one died because I gave it a cookie.
Did you do that on purpose?
I tried to eat a cookie. I clicked on the parrot accidentally while eating a cookie.
Parrots should back away from you if you have a cookie in your hand to tell you not to feed it to them.
Yeah. Parrots, though, are like a actual like big gameplay addition, whereas jumping minecarts, like the reason parrots aren't that interesting is because it took a long time to develop and there's not much use out of them. Whereas minecarts allow them to jump, they'll be relatively easy. But it might not be that useful, but I'm sure there'll be some sort of random use for it. There's
going to be some crazy technical thing with like a crazy minecart switcher thing, and I feel like that should be left to the mechanical stuff. That's why I'm not too keen on
downsides strongly outweigh the upsides.
The minecart jumping I don't like more than half a block high because I feel like anything like that should be left to a mechanical thing. Because imagine all the stuff you could do with jumping 1 block high that would be more intuitive and more challenging and more interesting to actually have to make a mechanic to do it.
You could just have a firework and basically rocket yourself 3 blocks in the air.
Okay, I'm cool with that. With like the immense amount of power that is somehow in like fireworks in Minecraft.
That's really weird, yeah. But it is fun. It is fun.
TNT can't blow up stone, but fireworks can push you like a whole mile if you have like some wings that aren't.
The difference is that it does enhance gameplay.
You still have to get the fireworks.
Yes, indeed. You don't just press space and then fly like a superhero.
Rocket into the air. You're not Superman, all right. You can carry the universe in your inventory, but you are not Superman.
There are limits. You got very strong arm muscles, very bad leg muscles.
So let's continue to the next change. Oh no, there was one I wanted to mention before that. Minecart tracks should be able to be placed on walls and ceilings.
Yes.
No.
Why not?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you want to be able to cruise upside down?
Okay,
you need top speed to do it. Like, I wouldn't want it to be a thing where you can just go up and hang upside down.
I mean, that would be really funny. Really weird.
Actually, it would be cool if there was a kind of thing called a hooked rail, but it required like twice as much iron. And the hooked rail...
no, the problem is that the player would still fall out of the minecart.
Well, you could... Okay, hold on. How are we supposed to jump in the air with like no leg muscles, right? But with incredibly strong arm muscles,
Who
apparently.
cares? It's cartoon
Right?
logic.
It's video game logic. There's a difference. Cartoon
Whatever.
logic is I'm gonna pull this huge hammer out of my pocket. Video game logic is if it's fun, it works.
Video game is the same logic.
No, it's not. Cartoons.
I gotta
cartoon
take this massive hammer out of my pocket.
Yeah, cartoon characters aren't required to have fun. They're required to be fun to look at, right?
Yes.
Seeing somebody
They're
fail
supposed to be miserable.
Seeing somebody fail is pretty funny to look at, right? But not if you are that person. So there is a
No,
difference
failing
in logic.
yourself sucks. Yeah, that's a good explanation.
Oh, really? So why don't you want upside down minecart rails?
First off, I thought it would be sort of disobeying the way Minecraft works entirely, but after thinking more about it, I was all up for redstone paste. So, I mean, it would be the only way to have Minecart do loops and stuff. So, sure, let's go.
Corkscrews.
Corkscrews would be cool, but they'd be really janky because you can't like make diagonal minecarts. You have to do the whole weird like.
They look weird, but they still drive diagonal. So
maybe they should change that so it actually you can make a diagonal track. Like it takes up 2 blocks, but it is diagonal.
Nah,
I don't really like that.
Why don't you like that?
Make something that's kind of diagonal with just putting corner blocks next to each other.
The model doesn't fit the actual model.
Oh no, it would not be a 3D model, and it would not be pixel art that's slanted. It would just be a diagonal texture that would only, and it wouldn't occur all the time. It would only occur when multiple of the curved ones were next to each other. I'm thinking I would just like to be carried along the space in between the 2 diagonal blocks, rather than be like back and forth. You know,
but you don't
like it.
You don't though. It's very janky vision, and I don't like that. I don't like how you're being like swiveled around so fast, and it's just.
But the card doesn't do that in Java, at least not.
It does.
You just go straight diagonally.
Well, anything else on minecarts going upside down? I think that'd be a fun addition.
Agreed.
Yeah. What if you derail upside down though? Do you land on your head and like die?
Yes, that's how it works.
I think you would just turn around. Yeah.
I don't really like the whole turning around thing. I'm thinking maybe the minecart model, just because if you turn around in midair, that's really weird. Like,
but if you don't turn around, you land on your head.
Hold on, how about this? The player is dismounted. The player takes some damage, right? Because obviously they don't have the minecart to protect them. They take some damage, right? They get like put out of the minecart, right? Maybe there's like a fall over animation, like nothing with elbows or anything, just like really quick. Like
it's funny, you had to specify that. No elbows, don't worry.
Yes, because you all think I'm an elbow freak, all right? It's not a bad idea. You just don't like the game that detailed. Anyway, but what I was saying is, like, maybe the minecart just renders upside down, and you have to destroy it to like get it back, but then you can place it again. And it's fine.
Oh yeah,
because I feel like it connecting to rails when you go upside down and your head just like swiveling around crazy fast. Like, it works for getting out of the elytra animation, and it works for the getting out of the swimming animation, but I feel like that wouldn't work for the minecart just because it's such a dramatic, like, swoop. You know what I mean?
Oh, it doesn't have to be so quick, I think.
All right. I don't know. I think it could be executed more naturally where things that are still possible where you go off upside down and land upright.
But if you slow down, that means the cart is going to fall as well.
Yeah, which would be really cool for traps because you can make a roller coaster that looks like it's going top speed, and then have a piston swapper to put in an unpowered powered rail so it slows them down and they just fall to their death. And you collect all their stuff. I'm very sadistic.
I think the minimum for being able to go upside down would be about 10 meters per second. So it would be a third of the maximum 30 meters per second.
I'm worrying about exploits right here, right? What if you make a slime block contraption that pushes up a piston with a slime block and then bounces the player while they're still upside down? Could you make a seemingly infinite upside down like forever thing?
That would be cool. Yeah. That sounds really cool. Because then you can do all the flips.
It would be really cool too. Also, imagine having like a rail system that like you were hanging down the whole time with that, and you could like shoot a gas and nether from the ceiling or something.
Yeah, it would be so badass with that one change.
Yeah, I didn't actually think of that. You can just have powered rails so you can stay upside down forever.
That would look so
Wait,
cool. Just imagine.
Actually, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, it'd be like that. Remember that one? Not all of you've seen story mode, but remember that one story mode scene where they were in the Nether and they had to shoot the gas and like dodge the gas and stuff while they were on the rail. Imagine that, but like upside down and like in game.
Yeah, but if you are upside down, you should not go up a block again. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
The ceiling is 10 blocks, and then you go, and the next part of the ceiling is 11 blocks high. If you're upside down, you would just,
they would have to be
get thrown
straight.
off the rail.
They would have to.
Yeah, so or the next part has to be 9. So you can go down, but you can't go up once you're upside down.
Yeah, makes sense. It would also be cool if you were like traveling upside down. There was someone like right below you traveling right side up, and you're all going at the same speed. And you're like, "Hello,
hello."
Don't crush
and
my
you can
skull
drop
now.
items.
Wait, hold on. Should minecarts be able to be placed sideways too?
Sure.
Minecart rails. Oh, this would be so cool.
Yeah, that's how you get upside down.
Yeah, man, that would be so cool.
Like fully directional. Because then imagine like a mini game where like you're in a tunnel and you're constantly spinning around each other and you gotta like fight. I'm just thinking of all the different potential for that. I know that's not in the base game, but like...
I mean, an epic sort of spinning thing or being able to move around on walls would be amazing.
Yes, the real problem is how are you going to make the directions? Like upside down, you could easily make direction by just turning your head. But how would you make the walls sideways?
Well, you'd flip sideways, I guess? I don't know.
How the rails are placed are already not determined by which way you're facing.
Yeah.
You can look and it places the minecart, but it places it sideways.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that could work.
With the winged minecarts, can we go back to that for a second? How do we make that not a replacement for the elytra?
Because it's not that good.
Okay.
Yeah, it only goes for a couple
Can't
blocks.
go as high, but
It just
That'd be
wouldn't
pretty
be boosted.
That'd be pretty useful in the nether, though.
And also, like, you would have enough time to, like, glide across the place. You're like, oh my goodness, I've derailed and I'm in a flying minecart. What do?
Yeah. Also, should minecart linking be a thing where you can, like, click on 2 minecarts and they will not
Yes,
separate? Hold on,
definitely.
why haven't they added that?
thing.
I don't know. It's on the frequently posted suggestions on Minecraft suggestions, but I don't think there's any official comment from the devs. I remember Helen saying one time that they really should add more minecart mechanics, or at least fix them. I can't remember exactly where she said that, but I did see it a while ago.
Also,
Yeah, we should just be able to put minecarts on a leash and then leash them together.
Same chains that made the lanterns.
But you need to add chains first then.
Just add chains. They're aesthetic.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Do it, Mojang, do it.
No reason not to, really. Anyway,
Chains should be made
Cave
from iron
update,
bars and
mining,
iron
chains, make it happen. Make minecarts happen.
Yeah.
I want to chain my minecarts together, Mojang. Please, I want to make a train. Please don't do this to me. Anyway, the video is getting a bit too long, so I'll end it here. If you enjoyed this podcast, let us know by leaving a like, and if you really enjoy what we do, please consider supporting me on Patreon. The second half will cover even more minecart related ideas, so if that interests you, subscribe and hit the bell, and in a day or so, it should be up for you to enjoy. You can even take part in one of these sessions by joining our Discord server. We also have a subreddit for submitting suggestions and a Twitter page. Until next time, stay abnormal.